9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm Latrina Foster, the Director for the Fulton County Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. And today we are celebrating National Recovery Month. Joining the Voices for Recovery. That is the theme, and celebrating connections. And Fulton County government would like to highlight those adolescents that have taken a stride to ensure that they equip themselves to live productive and independent lives. So we will celebrate their graduation from our Clubhouse program, as well as hear from some adults in the community who will talk about their road to recovery and how they continue to make efforts to ensure that they live a recovery-free life. And we want to thank people today for being transparent and telling their story. We ask the community, if you have questions, please place your questions in the comment box on the YouTube channel, and we will get to your questions near the end of the show. So sit back, relax, and let's celebrate recovery together. I will begin by turning the microphone over to Mr. Michael Jones, who is the program manager for the Clubhouse for Youth program in Fulton County. Mr. Jones, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Foster. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Jones. I am a member of long-term recovery. And what that means for me, I have not found it necessary to use any mind and mood-altering chemical in 20 years, 4 months, and 7 days. Long-term recovery has afforded me the opportunity to go back to school, get 3 degrees and a couple of certifications that allows me to use my lived experience along with formal education to help the community that I serve. I want to thank Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disability, along with Fulton County, for creating a safe space. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Fulton County Clubhouse, and it was through DBHDD and Fulton County that this safe space was created where adolescents 13 to 17 years of age can spend their time out of school learning the tools, coping skills, and socialization strategies to keep them safe and keep them drug-free. Our youth participate in life skill activities that are designed to increase their skill set. And some of the things that they learn in life skill is learn how to have effective communications. They learn how to set goals. They learn how to problem solve. They learn how to have healthy relationships. Our youth participate in social outings and where on a monthly basis, we introduce them to activities within the communities like bowling. We introduce them to going paintball, going rock climbing. And then once a month, we get the families together and we do things as a family. The whole goal is to increase family involvement, to increase social functioning, and to increase academic performances. We do that by introducing our students to a multitude of things. We have groups that consist of relapse prevention, and also our kids get with a addiction counselor or therapist one-on-one and develop their own personal relapse prevention goals. They learn behavior health, psychoeducation. They learn daily living skills like cooking, budgeting, how to manage their time, health, and wellness. Our youth upon completion of the program, our youth are encouraged to share their experience with their peers through positive peer mentoring. Another aim of the program is to decrease DJJ involvement, decrease substance use, and decrease negative behaviors. So in honor of National Recovery Month, we would like to honor 3 of our clients that have graduated from the program. It is currently we ask our youth to give back by sharing their experiences as members of Fulton County Clubhouse. These individuals have seen the value of learning and practicing skills introduced to them from the staff and from volunteers over the last 12 months. These graduates are familiarized themselves to life skills to enhance the quality of their lives. At this time, I want to bring up our first graduate. Well, I want to talk about our graduate. We're going to watch a video of the first graduate. His name is Jack Kinko. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the moderator to show his video.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
So hi, my name is Jack. I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now. I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there. And
Are you able to hear the
yeah.
sound? Give me
prior
1
to
second.
Clubhouse, so hi, my name is Jack.
With challenging.
I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now. And I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there.
Me to make bad
And
Are you able to hear
yeah.
the sound? Give me 1 second.
Clubhouse. So hi, my name is Jack.
with challenging.
I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now.
When I did
And I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there.
me to make bad.
And
Are you able to hear the
yeah.
sound? Give me 1 second.
Clubhouse. So hi, my name is Jack.
with challenging.
I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now.
When I did
And I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there.
me to make bad.
And
Are you able to hear the
yeah.
sound? Give me 1 second.
Clubhouse. So hi, my name is Jack.
with challenging.
I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now.
When I did
And I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there.
me to make bad.
And
Are you able to hear the
yeah.
sound? Give me 1 second.
Clubhouse. So hi, my name is Jack. I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now.
When I did
And I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there to make bad. And yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Clubhouse. So hi, my name is Jack. I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now.
when I
So as you can see, we're having a little bit of technical issues with Jack's video. So what we will do is try to show his video a little bit later so that you can hear Jack's story. If not, tune in to Fox 5 News tonight because Jack will be speaking this evening at 10 or 11 o'clock. And so, Mr. Jones, I'll turn it back over to you so that we can move on with the next graduate that's present.
Okay, so at this time, I want to introduce Michael Bridges. Michael is a 15-year-old student who attends North Atlanta High School. Michael hopes to finish high school and one day learn the skills of barbering and own his own barbershop. With that, I give you Michael.
Yay, congratulations.
So I want to present Michael with this certificate of completion and give you the floor. Have a seat.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Like he said, my name is Michael Bridges. I've been at Clubhouse for over a year now. When I first started Clubhouse, I was not how I am now. Like I was on probation for possession of marijuana and a weapon, and that was when I was in 7th grade. But my probation officer told me to go to Clubhouse. So when he told me to go to Clubhouse, my life changed very, very, like a lot. And then, so when my life changed, I started at Clubhouse. Then I was quiet, I wasn't talking, but Clubhouse opened me up with all the different activities and social skills that we do. So yeah.
Any recommendation you'll give to our listening audience?
Clubhouse is a great thing. Is a great place to go. And
That's it?
yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations.
thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Great job. So our next speaker, our next graduate is Trayshawn Wilson, who is also a 15-year-old who attends Banneker High School. Trayshawn enjoys drawing, sports, writing, working with his hands. Good thing about Trayshawn, he's a caregiver. He enjoys assisting his mom as she take care of his younger brother. So at this time, I want to introduce Trayshawn Wilson. Come on, Trayshawn. Before you hit off. So I also want to give you this certificate of appreciation.
Congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it. My name's Trayshawn Wilson.
Can you move up a little bit closer to the mic so we can hear you, please, and thank you.
My name's Trayshawn Wilson. I've been at Clubhouse almost a year now. When I first started, I was doing all the wrong things, making the wrong choices. It really helped me with being social and experience more things, open my eyes to a lot of more things, and showing me that drugs is not the way.
So do you feel like you learned how to have a good time with your peers without the use of drugs or alcohol?
Yeah.
Well, we're very proud of you and thank you for being transparent and your willingness to share your story to help someone else take that first step. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Are you leaving me?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Very exciting moment. I'm not sure if we want to try to play Jack's video now. Do we feel like we have the IT connection ready?
Let me see it.
All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and transition because what we want the community to recognize is that our adolescents struggle with mental illness as well as substance use disorder, but so do adults. And so it's always a pleasure to hear from adults as well as our adolescents that can share their story to deposit hope into someone that feels like recovery is not possible. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Ms. Allen, who will introduce our panelists for today's discussion. Thank you.
Okay, so let me try. I'm gonna try it again. Hold on.
So good evening, everyone. The two esteemed panelists that I'm going to be introducing is Ms. Shanti Das and Ms. Unique Dixon. So Ms. Shanti Das is the founder of Silence the Shame, Inc. Due to her extensive community work in the 2000 decade, she decided to establish her very own nonprofit, the Hip Hop Professional Foundation Incorporated. The foundation has been rebranded under the name Silence the Shame Incorporated, which is a mental health movement that has been leading the way since 2016. Shanti has suffered from depression, anxiety over the years, and has also experienced loved ones affected with mental health disorders. Silence the Shame, Inc. has received global awareness and has become a commonly used hashtag to normalize the conversations in America. Shanti's foundation curates community conversations, creates content, and broadens awareness and education around mental health and wellness. In 2019, Silence the Shame was awarded one of 5 awards by the American Psychiatric Association Foundation for advancing minority mental health. And as soon as Ms. Doss is finished with her presentation, we have Ms. Unique Dixon. She's a part of the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, and she works there as a certified peer specialist. Unique Dixon is a woman dedicated to helping and shaping the world in substance abuse recovery. Ms. Dixon is originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and she's a woman in long-term recovery. And what that means is she hasn't used any drugs or alcohol since June 2016. Losing both parents to addiction helped mold her decision to change her life and to help others. She is a certified peer specialist in mental health and substance abuse, as well as a student at the illustrious Georgia State University, majoring in social work.
Thank you.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I just want to first say thank you to Lynette, and thank you, Latrina, and everyone at Fulton DeKalb, DBHTV. This means more than you guys realize for me. I am an Atlanta native. I was born at Crawford Long Hospital, so I'm a Fulton County baby. I'm an Atlanta public school baby, and I'm just really humbled to be on here today to be able to share my story around emotional health and wellness and my journey with behavioral health. It all started when I was just 7 months old. My father died by suicide. One Sunday afternoon, my grandmother lived up the street from my mom and I's house, and my mom went to call my grandmother to see if dinner was ready. And so she went up to my grandmother's house, and then my grandmother said, "Go tell your dad dinner's ready." So my mom went back down to the house, maybe half an hour later, and found my dad on the side of my sister's bed. That started our journey with mental illness in our family. And for so many years, we did not talk about it. Growing up in African-American culture, we're taught to keep our secrets, right? Especially when you talk about mental health and mental illness. And I was really angry at my father. Once I got a little bit older, around kindergarten, I started asking for my dad. And once I learned that he had taken his own life, I became really angry, and I didn't want my mom to talk to me about it. And unfortunately, we did not go to counseling as a family. My mom would cry nights, but she would just say, "Oh, I'm okay, I'll be all right," and would kind of hide everything from us. And so my sister was eight and a half years my senior. And she ended up going to counseling when she was in college. And kudos to her for having the wherewithal to get the help that was needed at the time. Fast forward, I became this uber successful student, went on to Syracuse University, a really great school, majored in television, radio, and film, and came back home to Atlanta and started working in the entertainment industry. I helped L.A. Reid and Babyface launch LaFace Records, helped to launch the careers of artists like TLC, Usher, Outkast, and I really had a storied career. And you think when you have it all, you have a good job, you're traveling around the world, you're working in entertainment, that life is great. But as you begin to get successful, a lot of things start weighing on you. And that's what happened to me. I can remember being a senior director of marketing at Arista Records, and my boss was really condescending. He was a yeller. And I felt that I was going through an emotional breakdown. And I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, maybe I should just kill myself. And that was in 2001. And that was something, I tell you, my friends, that I was so afraid that I would utter those words one day in my life, because I thought that if my dad had taken his own life, even aside from all the accolades and everything that I had with this wonderful career, that something was still wrong with me. And I was afraid to seek therapy. I was afraid to talk to anybody about it. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. And also, I was Shanti Das. And I say that in the most humble way. We all have our own personal egos in whatever we do, whether we're an entrepreneur, an essential worker, a doctor or a lawyer. We feel like we can fix everything. And I thought that I could fix all those emotions and issues that were going on inside of my head, and I could not. And so that was the first time that I even thought about going to therapy. And my sister finally convinced me, you got to finally do it. So I went to therapy for about 3 or 4 months, on the road to recovery, if you will. But again, my ego got in the way. I didn't really stay with it. And so the problem still persisted. And so I started struggling with more anxiety, more depression. It seemed like the more successful that I got, the more depressed I became. And then in 2010, I decided to walk away from my career. My mom developed Alzheimer's. I moved back home to Atlanta, Georgia. I had been in New York for 10 years. And that's when things really started taking a turn for the worse. Even though I was doing a lot of great community service work, I was struggling emotionally. And then in 2014, my best friend took her own life. And I talked to her the day before it happened, and she shot herself the exact same way that my father did. Well, you can imagine that I blamed myself for her death. And that sent me to an emotional and downward spiral. I started withdrawing from friends and family. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to open the blinds. I just didn't. I would hear people in the past say, oh, I just didn't have the strength to do this, or I didn't have the courage. And for the first time in my life, I understood what that meant. Being so depressed where you just physically could not get yourself out of bed. So one thing led to another. And then one night in 2015, in September of 2015, I counted up all the pills in my cabinet. And I came really, really close to taking those pills. I had planned out my own funeral. I thought that God was through with my work here on earth. And the only reason that I didn't want to take my life is I didn't want to do the same thing to my family that they had experienced with my father. But I just couldn't get the thoughts out of my head. I didn't want to die, but the thoughts were racing, and I felt like I was losing myself every minute of the day. And so, I don't know, by the grace of God, I got out of the house that night because I was afraid that if I stayed home, I would have taken those pills. And so I started driving around the city, wandering aimlessly, and I ran into a friend who, and it's so weird how God places people in your path. Now, I live north of the city, and my friend lives on the south side. And I was like, what are you even doing on the side of town? And so we started talking, and she was like, let's not talk about me. Something's wrong. What's going on? And so I'm leaving out some of the details. Obviously, I was an emotional wreck. You could tell I had been crying, and I just didn't look like myself. And so she convinced me to call my sister, who convinced me to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-TALK. That was the start of my road to recovery. One, being able to recognize the trouble and the trauma within my life, right? Being able to acknowledge that I needed help and being able to process through those feelings. So I called the Suicide Prevention Lifeline that night. They helped to de-escalate the situation and get me back to my house so I didn't feel like I was a threat to myself anymore. And I also texted my pastor. I'm a member of Ebenezer Baptist Church. So I texted Dr. Raphael G. Warnock, and he said, I will pray with you, but you got to get help. You got to go to the doctor, plain and simple. So I called my doctor on Monday morning, my general practitioner. He recommended me to a psychiatrist, and I began taking antidepressants, my happy pills, as I like to call them. And so I'm proud to say that I'm here, I'm alive. You know, I got the help that I needed. I'm sitting here on Zoom, but I feel like I'm right there in your living rooms, and I'm a living testament to say that God is good and that help and recovery is possible. You know, SAMHSA talks about 4 essential dimensions to recovery: health, home, purpose, and community. So for me, it was about getting my health together, right? I started working out. I started trying to eat better, because when I was so stressed out and I was depressed, I was breaking out. I didn't look like myself. I was eating out of depression. And also those cocktails turned into, you know, that one cocktail you have after work. Well, 1 turned into 2 and 2 turned into 3. But when it's a party of 1, that's not a party. That's a problem. So I knew with alcohol being a natural depressant, I had to stop drinking. And so again, I'm just grateful that I learned that I needed to lead a healthier lifestyle on my road to recovery. Also having a sense of home and purpose. I tell people, don't be afraid to reach out to family when you need help, whether it's a friend or a coach or a colleague or anyone. You got to let people in. It's just like, you know, the NBA finals are starting, and they don't start unless there's 5 people on the court. So who's in your starting 5? You got to have 5 people that you trust. You need people to empathize with you, not sympathize with you. We don't need anybody to have sympathy on us on our road to recovery, but we do need you to kind of put yourself in our shoes and try to walk with us on this journey. The third one is giving your life and having purpose. So I started giving back. That's why I created the Silence the Shame movement. It started with me and one intern. And now we are one of the most commonly used hashtags around the world. I've spoken in Amsterdam. I've spoken in Ireland last year, giving a keynote, the only person of color. But more importantly, we're saving lives. We do QPR training for people. We do free mental health first aid training. We've partnered with DBHDD. We've done work with Dr. Murphy with Fulton DeKalb. And I am here to tell you that recovery is possible. Now, I didn't say life is going to be easy after you start that road, because last year in April of 2019, my best friend, my confidant, my sister, the one who helped save my life, passed away unexpectedly while on vacation with her daughter. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but y'all gotta understand what that was like for me on my road to recovery. So now you add grief on top of the mental illness that I suffered with the depression and suicidal ideation. And I tell you, there are days when I don't feel like I still deserve to be here because my sister's not here. Her life was cut short. She was only 56 years old. But that's when community comes in, right? The last one in terms of the essential dimension of recovery, and I have to allow my community in. And I also get out and I exercise and I walk and I pray and I'm in community with God. And if it's a walk in the park, if it's a walk in my neighborhood, I get up every morning and I try, because I do know that recovery is possible. And the last thing I would say is you got to avoid isolation. When you've been through a situation with substance abuse or mental illness, the last thing you want to do is keep yourself by yourself all the time. And I know that with COVID it's difficult, but we don't have to socially distance. We can physical distance on our road to recovery, but we're not going to social distance, because every day sometimes, I feel like, like I said, I just don't want to be here, but I know God has bigger plans for me, and I know I'm not done with my recovery. So I'm going to keep on going to therapy. I'm going to keep on helping my community. I'm going to keep on pouring back into myself, into my body, into my mind, into my spirit, because it's physical health and mental health. It's mind, body, and soul. It's not one or the other. So whether you're dealing with the substance abuse or mental illness, you matter, your life matters. We matter. We are in this fight of recovery together. And I just thank you guys for allowing me to share my story and my journey. You can follow me on Instagram at ShantiDas404. Check out our organization, silencetheshame.com. God bless you. Congratulations to the Clubhouse graduates, and it's an honor to be in your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Dixon.
Hi, family. My name is Unique Dixon, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. What that means for me, as of June 15, 2016, I haven't used any mood or mind altering substances. My recovery date is also the same day that my friend overdosed at 27 years old. I'm currently 32. And I want to clear something up. I no longer work with the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. I'm currently pursuing my own nonprofit organization, which will do something that you guys are pretty much doing. I want to provide independent living homes for children aging out of foster care, because they're all over and they don't have nowhere to go. And but a little bit about me is I grew up on the west side of Atlanta, Georgia. I put that in my bio, but because that is something different when you hear west side. It's like you have to understand. You have to be from there to understand how important it is to say that west side. Like the west side of Atlanta, Georgia is like no other part in Georgia. And I grew up over there, and I lost both of my parents to the disease of addiction. And, I grew up with all of the stuff, but recovery has afforded me the opportunity to, like, which was mentioned, pursue a degree at Georgia State. Right now, I'm currently on the dean's list. When I started recovery, I didn't even have a GED. Recovery has afforded me to work for a beautiful organization such as the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. When I came into recovery, I was a hairstylist. I have a background of adult entertainment. I never knew that there was a life that that I could live that could be this meaningful. Recovery has allowed me to be a part of my family, to be here for my grandmother. My grandmother lives with bipolar disorder, and I'm here to take care of her. I actually just moved in the basement so I can make more home for me if I'm going to be here, because being in that little room that I grew up in was affecting my mental health. So I had to make some adjustments. So I'm down in my basement now. I'm in a better space where I'm able to focus on my organization and do my schooling. I got me a desk. I really like what the young lady just shared about not isolating. I could sit here and talk a lot about what it used to be like, but 2020 has been a rough year for me. I lost 13 people this year. On top of my parents, on top of my friends, and on top of all of that, and I was that person that was stuck in the bed, which is why I made the decision to make the transition to my basement. It's a lot more light up in here. It's just a lot more life. It's like a new house, and I can't leave my grandmother, so I had to make some adjustments. But with losing all of those people, I want to share real quick, June 10th, I lost my job at the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. And on June 14th, I was diagnosed with COVID-19. And on June 15th, I celebrated 4 years. So no matter what, I didn't give up. It's like she just shared, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be unicorns and rainbows all the time. It's necessary that we don't pick up no matter what. you know, and take care of our mental health. I can share like some things that I did for myself was I let people know how I was feeling. I had to let people know how I was feeling. I've stayed consistent. I'm a part of a 12-step fellowship. I stay active on the meetings. I will stay on there all night if I had to. I stayed in touch with my sponsors and my friends and just anybody that I knew would be concerned about me. I let people know how I was feeling, even though I didn't want to. You know, a big part of me wanted to just stay upstairs in that room and just stay in the bed. And I did for about 2 weeks, and it was paralyzing, you know, but I know that I have been afforded a life worth living. You know, my parents didn't get the opportunity to reap the benefits that recovery has to offer, and I have. And at the end of the day, there's so many things that are going to come that are going to try to tear you down. Whether it's going to be people, places, and things that are never going to change, and they're going to try to tear you down. But the way recovery has set me up is like it's provided me with people. I really love what she shared about how like her friend just magically popped out of somewhere. You know, it was just, that's what happens for me. God has placed people in my life that are my stepping stones. Even Miss Alexa Jones, like she carried me through that COVID situation. I talked to her the day I was diagnosed. I was scared to death, you know, but it's women and it's men that that I can be truly transparent with and let them and allow them to help me, because I wasn't always a person that was so approachable. You know, I wasn't always allowed these opportunities because I didn't allow people to help me. I lost both of my parents, and I didn't have any problem with telling you, you're not my mother and you're not my daddy, you know, but I realized through doing some work on myself that rebellion is because I miss my parents. And it's okay to say how you feel, which is why I want to develop my organization. And instead of asking the kids why they're doing this, like ask them what happened. What happened to you? You know, I wish somebody would have asked me what happened, you know, because I was that child that went to Metro RYDC, Macon YDC. I've been to group homes. I was that child. I was you. I'm sure they can hear me. I was you, you know, and so I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you guys. And you know, no matter how the universe is trying to work against me, I know it's some work being done that I can't even see. And I'm going to stay positive. And as I always say, I got to get to my babies. My babies are the babies that are going to be a part of my future organization. And I know there's people that need me, that are counting on me, that I haven't even met yet. So thank you guys for the opportunity to participate in my recovery today.
No, thank you for sharing your recovery. Thank both of you for sharing your recovery so that we can turn around and help someone else and show them that recovery is possible. I have a special message for all of you from Ms. Jones, so I'm going to cue up her spoken word.
Hey there, my name is Alexia Jones, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. And what that means for me is for the last 25 years, I've had not a need or desire to use any mind-altering substances. It means I live my recovery out loud. That means I get the opportunity to be a mother to my daughter, a daughter to my mother, and also the founder and director of RISE. At RISE, we believe that art plus recovery equals freedom. And we want to congratulate you. We want to congratulate the graduates today and let you know that this is the beginning of a new journey. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. If I can do it, you can do it. Congratulations. Have you ever looked down the end of the tunnel and you don't see a glimmer of a light? I mean, you think about it and it makes you want to throw in the towel. But hope is like the sun that rises up and over the horizon. And sometimes you got to tear it up, rip it up, tear it up, rip it up, and throw it in the toilet and flush it. And then you know God's got your back. And sometimes you got to dig for hope. You got to dig down deep for hope through your prayers. Through your prayers to your God, the doors of hope are open. And sometimes I say to myself, I can't do this. I can't. But a still small voice speaks to me and says,
Be brave. Believe in big. Dig within, then dig deeper, hug tighter. Smile bigger. Take risks. Follow your dreams. Fall on your knees and pray. Fight back. Do more. Bring peace. Be change. Become someone you admire. Become the someone that you have always wanted to be. Work hard. It's okay to crawl before you walk. Stumble. Fall. Get up. Wipe yourself off. Stumble. Fall. Get up. Wipe yourself off. Stumble. Fall. Get up. Until you don't even wipe yourself off anymore, you just walk. You just keep going. Never give up. Be a source of light. Be bright in the shade. Be bold. Be brave. Be a fountain. Be a spring in a world full of drains. Love harder. Seek the unknown. Walk, run, climb. Put one foot in front of the other, baby, one step at a time, for you will stumble, fall, get up, kick up some dust. The dirt is part of your journey. Embrace the journey. Along the way, talk to strangers. Make friends with strangers. Make family with strangers. Be happy. Seek passion. Be passion. Rest your body. Train your spirit. Listen, heal, push boundaries, break chains, stand your ground, expand your territory, explore life. Thank something bigger than you for it. Look at your breath. Lose your mind just to find it again. Take your time. Explore yourself. Explore someone else. Bring hope. Touch souls. Dare to experience trust. Love yourself when no one else does. You claim victories you cannot see yet. Be confident that they are coming, because they are coming. You be so full of strength that it makes everyone who is weak highly uncomfortable with your very being. Change their minds. Teach something. Turn heads, be of service, be willing to learn, dare to know you are a butterfly when the whole world sees a worm. Transform, fly, be fly, be the best that you can be, then be better. Inhale, let things go, forgive, be extraordinary, be brave enough to live, jump in puddles, run in the rain. Don't you be afraid to jump, stumble, fall. Get up, be brave, walk through flames. Don't you be afraid of all, you be what fear is afraid of. Be beautiful, be powerful, be contagious, be courageous, for you will stumble, you will fall, and you will get up, and you will show this world everything you are made of, because you only get this chance one time.
And sometimes I ask myself, are you breathing? Are you breathing? As long as there's breath in your body, there is hope.
There is hope.
There is hope.
Hi, my name is Yosis, and I'm a national spoken word artist and the youth coordinator at RISE. We just want to come together to tell you congratulations on such an amazing win. This is not the end of a program, this is the beginning of your life. And although challenges may come, we know that you are equipped with everything you need to move forward, not just survive, but thrive. Great job.
Awesome. And so now we will transition into Jack.
So hi, my name is Jack. I've been a member of Clubhouse for over a year now. I'm here to be interviewed about what my time was like there. And yeah, prior to Clubhouse, I was in a dark place with challenging times. And uh, those challenges led me to make bad decisions in life. Not very proud moments. Later on, um, when I did go through court, I got into Clubhouse. Honestly, it has really changed my views and helped me stay on track with what I want in life. The way they did that is it was pretty. It was like opening your eyes to more possibilities of what your potential could possibly be. Um, and it really helped young kids try to um, they try to take them away from a bad path in life, so basically a second chance, because in the end, like, we were all kids and mistakes do happen, and I feel like we all deserve that second chance to prove that we are not just a lost cause. Yeah.
That's Jack, and we appreciate his words of encouragement. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jones so you can introduce our final speaker. You're on mute, Mr. Jones. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone who has spoken before. Finally, I want to introduce our final speaker. This is a young lady who graduated the program, and she wants to give back. Shaylin is a senior who attends North Atlanta High School and is part of a dual enrollment program where she takes all of her classes at Georgia State. She's very passionate about physics and astronomy and hopes to pursue a career in that field. When she's not attending classes or working a shift at Publix, you may find her going on walks and watching an episode of a Cosmos. With that, I give you Shaylin.
Hello.
Hello.
So I want to speak a little bit about the Clubhouse and my experience there and what we did. So first of all, the other youth there, always being surrounded by other people who are going through similar situations made it so I never felt alone. And I made a lot of meaningful connections and friendships there. And even just hearing other people's stories helped me gain a lot of perspective. About the therapists and case managers and advisors, all those people, it was always so great. I knew these people genuinely cared about me and my well-being, and I felt listened to and I felt heard. And a lot of them actually became role models for me. And I felt like they were people who I could look up to and ask for advice. And these people I know I will, keep towards my heart. Therapy and group, just getting things off my chest and having someone to listen to is something that I didn't have, that I didn't realize I needed. Just having someone's opinion on things and what you're going through in your own life can help so much. And personally, I think everyone should have therapy. Everyone should have therapy in group because it's so helpful. And again, hearing other people's experiences helped a lot because, especially in this group, because I had a lot of people that I could relate to. The experiences in the outings, I always had lots of amazing experiences. Last year for my birthday, we went indoor skydiving, and recently we went to Six Flags. We went to the aquarium, bowling, skating, the art museum, the movies. We've been a lot of places. We've done a lot, and it's nice to have fun. When you're going through a dark time in your life, I was, going through a lot when I was, just starting out in the Clubhouse. And so, having these great memories during such a dark time is just great. Academically, when I first started the clubhouse, I was like an ABC kind of student. But I learned a lot of like time management skills. They sat down with me and helped me plan when I do my assignments. And that helped me. Now I'm a straight A student. So I'm so grateful for that. I feel like I have so many more opportunities because of that, because I'm able to manage my time better. We also learned about new colleges and internships just from, talking. And I actually went on my first college tour with the clubhouse. And also I was getting a job, so they encouraged my efforts for that too. We did community service, and doing community service with the clubhouse made me more aware of the issues we have going on in our own community. Specifically, feeding the homeless was something I hadn't done before I joined the clubhouse, and seeing Atlanta's homelessness issue firsthand made me want to give back more. And these community service days also helped me to reach my community service requirement at school. I think this program really set me up for success in my home life and even beyond that, because before this program, I was in a really bad place and I felt like I didn't really have any direction, but the clubhouse taught me new coping skills, and I was able to improve my relationship with my families and my friends. And I overall think I just learned more about myself. So the environment at Clubhouse is just amazing. You are always surrounded by people who, genuinely care about you. And, everyone's trying to help you in some sort of way. And I just feel like the Clubhouse, is just great because it gives you the opportunity. When you hit rock bottom, it gives you the opportunity to get a second chance. And I feel like anyone who joins this group should, take advantage of that opportunity. So I'm very grateful to be, have been a part of this group. So I just want to say thank you.
And thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for the community, our viewers, to present questions. So all of my panelists, please stand by. Mr. Carver, if you can let us know if we have questions from the community.
We haven't gotten so many questions, Latrina, as we have a lot of words of encouragement that
we'll definitely read the words of encouragement. Thank you.
Yeah, they've definitely given a lot of words of encouragement to all of our panelists, but especially the young folks who have graduated from the program. But I did have one question that I know pretty much anybody on this panel could answer. With us going through the current public health crisis because of COVID, what do you expect that to mean? And any of you guys can answer this, to mental health, behavioral health issues that people are already experiencing it. I know you probably expect a surge in people seeking your help and the help of other providers around the area, correct?
I think I'm going to pass it to Shanti.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll just answer briefly. I thought that it was going to be difficult in terms of work and finding opportunities to be able to share with the community, but I don't think Silence to Shame has worked this hard since we started. We are curating a lot of conversations around managing your mental health while working from home, managing postpartum depression in a pandemic, managing relationships, and whether it's personal friends or colleagues or companies, we're just finding that so many more people are recognizing the anxiety that they're experiencing. They've never even seen these feelings within themselves, right? So a lot of it they can't recognize, and it's almost foreign to them. And so I do think, as we continue, because I still don't feel like we're past the pandemic, even though some people think we've gotten past it, but we're still in it. And we're definitely seeing the rates of depression, especially even amongst teens, with the isolation, being away from their friends, and a lot of young mothers who really don't have that village of support when they have that baby. We're finding a lot of more rates of depression and anxiety amongst moms and postpartum depression. So I just encourage everyone to, again, be able to acknowledge your feelings, process through them, and don't be afraid to get help if needed, because we are certainly going to continue to see problems persist with emotional health and wellness in the pandemic.
Ms. Doss, thank you so much for that. We got a question from one person out there. Jean Schultz asked, can any of the speakers comment on what was the biggest key to them deciding to seek and then stick with recovery?
Would one of our adolescents like to take a stab at that? And then we can turn it over to Ms. Dixon. Shaylin?
Yeah, so when I first came into this program, because I was going through a really dark time in my life. I was battling with suicidal thoughts, and so coming into this program just helped me realize that there is like a light at the end of the tunnel. And once I set goals for myself with the clubhouse and I saw myself growing, I think that's what made me want to stick with it. Seeing yourself grow is really motivating, I think. So yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Unique, would you like to answer that question as well?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
I think what did it the most for me was once I finally developed some emotional stability and recognized what addiction had done to my family, and understanding that part of the reason my life was so dysfunctional because of what it had done to my parents. It made me want to fight harder, to be able to provide. I don't have any children, but I just understand, like, when I recover, the whole family recovers, and so that's made me want to stick with it. My life is just so much more worth living today, although everything, like I said earlier, isn't unicorns and rainbows, but it just makes it so much easier to deal with, especially with the support that I have and the people that I've built relationships with in recovery. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you.
Can I just add briefly, Latrina, to that?
Yes, absolutely.
So I was really embarrassed and afraid to share that I thought of taking my own life, or seriously contemplated taking my own life. And what really made me stick with recovery and want to get help is the love and support from strangers and friends and family, because stigma is still such a big thing in our community. And I just felt like I would be almost outcast, or certain family members might not, support me. And it was just the opposite. And so many strangers, and they're just, love and support, with them pouring into me, it wanted me to pour more into myself, to then be able to pour back into the community, to be that light of hope and strength. And so that's why it's so important to let people in. Not saying you got to share on social media and tell everybody, but you got to let somebody in when you're experiencing, anxiety and depression and serious suicidal ideation, because we can't get through this and we cannot recover on our own. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so I'm glad you mentioned that we can't recover on our own, because I would like to present a question to all of the panelists and the graduates today. And what would you recommend for individuals to do as far as that individuals that are currently in recovery? What are your words of encouragement or your recommendation for them to reach back and help someone else? How important is that for an individual in recovery to deposit those positive seeds in someone else that's struggling to take that first step towards recovery? Either one of you can answer.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I think the most beautiful part of me being in recovery was the identification. Like when someone, it's one thing when someone can help you, that has been trained and educated on how to help you, but that lived experience as a certified peer specialist is like, wow, like I know exactly how you felt. Like I know exactly what it's like to go through all of that stuff, being in those group homes and just being tossed around and going to juveniles. And like, so a person can identify more with someone. Well, I think a person can be of much more help to someone that has actually lived that life. So I think that's why I have no problem with being transparent about my story, because I know there is someone that unique has to help. I might not be able to help everybody, but there's someone specifically out there for me to help. So I just know that I'm charged to help somebody just because it was so freely given to me. So
Awesome. Thank you. Ms. Dawes, you want to take a stab at that as well?
I got to tell you, if I get one text message, I get 3 or 4 a week from either personal friends, colleagues, or just strangers on social media. And the beauty, as I'm still going through my own recovery, for being able to help somebody else is, I'll take a page out of Unique's book. Like it's something that we have to do, right? It allows our soul to be restored and that light within us. But again, having someone who's been through that, how could I withhold that information? How could I not want to help someone? And when I sit here and I see the rates of suicide increase amongst Black and brown people in our community, all I want to do is help. And so I really have recognized that this is a gift and a mission from God, and that He has blessed me with the ability to be vulnerable. Because oftentimes, again, going back to the embarrassment and the ego, being vulnerable is a scary thing. But when you're able to share that vulnerability and save a life, that's why I think we're here. That's what we're meant to do. And God wants us to help those that can't help themselves. And when we are in that moment of crisis, we don't know that we can't help ourselves, rather, and we know that we need that help. And so it's an honor to be able to pour back and save us.
Thank you all so much. And I hope that our listening audience was able to take something away from this. I see that Ms. Jones has joined us, and I'm going to allow you, Ms. Jones, to close us out with providing our listening community with some words of encouragement. We have 1 minute, but I want to acknowledge that you are on now with us, and we just watched your spoken word. Thank you so much for your message. Congratulations to all of the graduates, and Ms. Jones is going to zoom us out.
Yo sis, spoken word artist from Rise to Recovery. She's actually right here looking at me. She's holding group right now, but I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah, we always having groups, but that's what it's about, just keeping each other engaged and keeping the youth engaged. And listen, this group right here coming up is our future. We're here now, and then the future is soon coming. So just stay on top of your game. Please make sure you always, always, always invest in your recovery, and the sky is the limit. We rise as people in recovery, and I'm an ally in recovery. And for our youth, we rise. Thank you so very much for having us and allowing us to be involved in what you're doing. Congratulations to the youth, and it's a pleasure to kind of see our colleagues right here face to face. So thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Fulton County Government Department of Behavioral Health, thank you all for watching. Have a blessed night. So I did good. I stayed with the time this time.
Woo!
Are we off of YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
No, wait. I still see you.
Yeah, it still says live.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you. Thank all of you so much. You don't